autistic with a dash of Asperger's, as I call it, just 2 years ago, when I was 50. Otherwise, I'd be sat over there watching somebody like me and looking for similarities. As an aside, I am also diagnosed with major depression, social anxiety, complex post-traumatic stress, and I dissociate whenever I get the opportunity to, and it's kind of helped me throughout my life. So I don't see it as a negative dissociating, I think of it as a positive. I went to my GP because I thought there was something wrong with my brain, because I'd resigned from yet another job due to my poor performance levels. And that was like compared to my co-workers. I can understand, you know, being called in and talked to about it, but it was a pattern that kept happening throughout my employment. Once again, I felt hopeless. My anxiety, my depression, my I'm okay, I'm not okay, it was like seesawing all over the place. And I couldn't see the point of me because I couldn't bring an income into the family again. So yeah, it's like, here we go again. And from all the jobs that I've had, and I've had many jobs, it's always been a really large effort for me to get along with other people. And recently I did inquire online about why is it so important to get along with other people. And I came back this one shocking line that said, you're more likely to be successful in whatever you do, successful if you get along with other people. So here I am, not successful, because I don't. Right, next slide I think it is. Yeah, so there we are. Ta-da! That's me. I draw like a 5-year-old. Yeah. Anyway, I'll give you some details about me, because I've learned to display myself as normal, but these are my truths. My name's Melanie. I just added the extra accent on it because I thought it looked quite nice. I'm 52. My sun is in Gemini, my moon is in Capricorn. There's a reason why I'm telling you all this. My world number is 22. I'm the youngest of 3 daughters. My father, who passed away quite a few years back, was Welsh, and my mother is Maltese, and I'm first generation English. I like to support charities. I work as a volunteer with the Autism. That one, this thing, right behind me. Ta-da! Half hour as well. My best job, volunteering job, is as a litter picker. I love litter picking. I go out with my dog, my collie, Melanie collie. That's what's quite funny. He's so cute because he wears like a fluorescent outfit with me as well, so like a team. But as far back as I can remember, I've collected words in my brain and on paper. For example, my name, Melanie. From my mum named me. I've just got a story about your name. My mum named me after the Gone with the Wind character, the nice one. And words kind of capture my focus, and I can't just sort of like have a word and move on to something. It sort of fascinates me, and I get intrigued by it. And my name, being that I want to know the origin, the mutations, the different spellings, and the meanings behind words. And I'm a spiritual Catholic as well, so I wanted to know if there was a Saint Melanie. Yeah, it's got to be. Yeah, and there's 2. So, but it's slightly spelt differently, so I'm a bit upset about that. But it's Melania the elder and Melania the younger, her granddaughter. But then I start reading about it and start trying to understand those people. I get so engrossed in words, but I've always done it. Now, these words are really valuable to me, and I won't stop until I'm either satisfied with an understanding of a word or I'm absolutely exhausted. You know, I'll add it to my collection up here, or in my millions of notebooks I've got, and I'll hoard it away in my head somewhere, you know, job done, file it away. But when I was little, Melanie, these valuable words, so I was a slow learner, a slow speaker, should we say, that came out of my mouth, you know, because I'd done all the work up here beforehand. I was referred to as chopsy, and there's not many definitions of that word. I couldn't figure out if it was good or bad, but I don't think it was particularly good. But I felt like an idiot because of the reaction that I was getting from people. I was laughed at, but not, you know, in a nice way. I took it as not in a nice way. But it was never my intention, like Jolie said, to be rude or inconsiderate of other people's feelings. It's just how things came out of my mouth. You know, gushing to say these words, and I was just being me. So, on to the next one. Pink slide next. This is my truth. Right before birth, in my mummy's womb, I was on the receiving end of brain-changing events, I call it, continuing throughout my life until when I was about 20. A social worker asked me if I wanted to start counselling. She was my first saviour. I'm going to name her because I lost her throughout the years, and I'm sure she's still around, but she was such a huge influence. Janet Kingston from the borough of Richmond upon Thames, and I thank her eternally in my head. And this began the journey of mending my brain, as I put it. I went into counselling full-time, as much as I could, one-to-one therapy, group therapy, workshops, retreats, everything, you know, reading books, mixing with similar people. It was just, and it was working, so I carried on, and I still do it now. All the stuff that I've learned, I still share with others as well, but in total it's been over 30 years as a service user, they call it, isn't it? To mend me, because it helps me. This slide doesn't actually fit with what I'm saying, but I'm also saying that I'm also sober from alcohol, or sober and clear-headed, sometimes from using recreational drugs, alcohol and tobacco. I couldn't do any of this without the help of others, because I can't do things on my own. I need other people and other organisations to help me. And I never stopped trying, and I never will stop trying to sort of like mend me, because I do want to drink, I do want to do crazy things every now and again, but anyway, back to me. I'm happy with the results that I've got so far with all the help of the people around me, and one of the best things is that I've met a nice Welshman, and we've got a nice daughter too. We're married, yeah. But since I got my diagnosis of autism, it kind of like knocked me back a bit, because I didn't have this in my Project Melanie world. You know, it's like, what, autism? Asperger's? No, and so I went into denial for quite a while, probably about a year. And then this word cause kept coming up in my world, in my everyday thinking, and I couldn't ignore it anymore. So this is how my brain works. I couldn't get past this word cause, so I look at all the different words that are similar to cause, and once I've got all those, I can sort of move on. I'm bewitched by this word cause, and they're called synonyms. I can never say that word, but I'm like a thesaurus, I suppose, a glossary of words up here. So, how? Yeah, here's all the answers. So I went off on one, and I call it my hair-splitting learning, and this is the how. These are some of the answers that I came up with. My obsessional sort of learning and writing it all down. And it's just way too much for me. It does my head in just looking at it. Just doing my head in writing it down, but I had to get it out. I had to get it all on paper, because then I can understand it when I see it. But I won't dwell on that one too much, because this is mine. This is mine, what I'm kind of comfortable with, and it's all, you know, what's the word? To me, everybody's individual on this, but this is just to me, and I accept it all, you know. makes sense. Oops, so then I can move on. I don't know if I'm not really going to explain it because it's, from what I've learned, it's actually, there's two. It's genetics and it's also environment, and it's different for everyone. So there's no one answer, which I was quite happy with. Next slide. Oh yeah, then I got onto this word called affect. Once I moved past that, and again, this is the way I look at it, the way my thought process goes. Have to look back and understand certain parts of, have to understand what the word affect means so that I can move on and find the solution. Yeah, so how much time I've got left? Keep going until she. Oh, look, 1 minute remaining. Here we go. X. So this is the cream slide. Where's that one? 5. Okay, I just thought look at it. These are the words that I've decided to choose, which are the effect equals blah blah blah. And there's loads more I could put on there. But what I do is generally I look at the world with like rose-coloured, with a rose-coloured mindset. That's what I do. Because sort of turning slightly sideways and looking at something from a different angle, perspective, and all that stuff, and subjective. I choose to look at me like that, but somebody else might see it completely different. But I know me more than other people, although a lot of people have helped me along the way to do this, to understand this. So, to me, this whole exercise for me coming up here and talking, it's like a 1 + 1 = 2. It's like, the autism, why was I, the how, the cause, and the effect, so that's the 1 + 1 = 2. And I will say this, that I feel like the labels that I've got, they do define me, and I'm okay with that. So, yeah, I was going to read out that prose poem thing at the end. Is that all right? Yeah? Okay. Right, okay, because this one I kind of read out before, and my understanding of numbers, simple maths, I'm not good at. But I can do sort of like tricky maths. Before I read it out, I'm going to say I didn't dislike my father, and he didn't dislike me. It was just pure frustration because I wasn't like my sisters, so I can understand. I've learned to have a lot of compassion. What's that banging? It's annoying me. Have you heard how loud those hand dryers are in the toilets? Yeah. They are so loud. I was like, ah! But anyway, here we go. I'm going to kill him. All right, okay, so this I wrote, and yeah, here we go. What's wrong with you? Dad may have said this only once, but it's stuck right here. Every word that came out from my dad's mouth, broken down into single letters. Every letter hit me loud and clear, like bullets. I paced them back together into a word, into the sentence. What's wrong with you? Me? This sentence, this question simply confused me. You see, problem solving was always an interest of mine. But with this problem, I could not see the solution. I knew that my dad was angry with me, so I chose to answer him with my mind. I think I'm okay, but apparently not, as he walked away. I looked down at the papers, his simple sums, and it truly looked a mess. The numbers as scattered symbols. They hurt my eyes, my head. There were no patterns, no routines to follow, to analyse. This simple maths that I should understand. I should because my sister could. Probably everyone in my class at school could. Maybe even the whole world. But not me. Not me. I felt very alone right then, very much less than right then. I blinked some more, hoping to see an answer, to return my daddy back to me. So, why can't I be like everyone else? My attention floats off out of the house, to the garden, up to my tree house, with nature, drawing and writing stories, my poems, secrets too afraid to share. Primary school reports named me the daydreamer, and I liked that. Teachers' mum and dad did not. If I had had the awareness I have now, I could have said, but I like to daydream. It's how I disconnect, unplug from the noise, the sights, the smells, these bright lights. It's how I disconnect from the everything. And I'm not lazy, stubborn, weird or stupid, but sometimes I can be an idiot. Now leave me alone to be me. The last bit now, unless I haven't printed it off. Where are you? 3. Oh, there we go. Looking back at the Melanie child, I do so with compassion. I think of myself as that buckaroo mule, the Hasbro one, from the 30 years of talking therapies, workshops, retreats, books. I load up my back with my mental health symptoms, my special skills, my social behaviours, my physical ailments, my special interests, my core values, my visual thinking, honesty, compassion, attention to detail, non-verbal communication skills, my loyalty, logical thinking, sense of humour, appropriate obsessions, creativeness, and my super senses. In the eyes of the neurotypicals, there's plenty wrong with me. So, do I win a prize? Am I authentic? I think so. I am a lifelong learner too, to be of service, to help those that struggle too. Now at just 52, I can only say my truth, and that is I am Melanie.